It's win or go home for San Diego FC as Puebla comes to town in the final, the third match in the Phase 1 of Leagues Cup 2026. And as they're splitting the results, San Diego FC is looking 1-1, and they need all 3 points tonight against Puebla, and a whole lot of help from some goal difference and some losses as well. There's a whole lot that needs to be broken down if San Diego wants to advance to the quarterfinals. I'll break it down for you. Let's get into it. Host Mo of the Max Football Podcast here to bring y'all a quick match preview, very last minute and quick match preview for San Diego FC against Puebla in the final Phase 1 League Cup match tonight. San Diego FC is desperate for the 3 points. They're desperate for a massive win because they need that goal difference help. Sitting at -1 has a massive stigma behind them. They're going to need a lot of teams to lose, and they're going to need a lot of score a lot of goals if they really want to advance to the quarterfinals. So let's break it down and see how we look. San Diego FC sitting 1-1 so far in the Leagues Cup after losing 3-1 to Club America in the Azteca, and then coming back on Sunday to the Snap and beating Club Tijuana 1-0, which is a good thing. The problem is it put us at a disadvantage. Getting a 3 points tonight will only put us at 6 points, and we need 11 teams to stay at 6 points in order for us to even breathe or smell an opportunity at the quarterfinals. However, we might have a bit of a silver lining because, or I should say a little bit silver lining, because the opponent we're playing is 0-2 so far in this tournament, and that's Puebla. They have been blown out by Portland 5-2 and got shut out by Austin FC, who's been on a tear, by the way, 3-0. Their backline leaks more goals than some San Diegans' tires on the 5 freeway, if you know what I'm talking about. So the other wrinkle, I should say, or the even bigger silver lining in this entire thing is Puebla has a massive match this weekend against Pachuca, and they, or at least I feel, they will roll out their secondary squad, a rotationary squad. You might get a couple of stars, but you're not going to get something crazy. I feel like Puebla could care less how they do in this tournament, especially as of now. So with that being said, that's the opportunity in itself. San Diego could be looking at a rotationary squad, a bunch of teenagers if we're really lucky. So as I said, they need to win and win big. So let's talk about that. San Diego FC can afford nothing less than the 3 points you get from a victory. There is no penalty going out for this one. That's too many points lost, and that immediately kicks us out. A win or it's go home. But then again, I continuously bring up the goal difference. Right now, San Diego, as I said already, sitting -1 in the goal difference. They need to score a lot of goals, bunches of goals, and Varkston needs to have a brace. Dreyer has a brace. Zamble has a brace. Alejandro gets one. Luca Bombino gets one. Maybe CJ Dos Santos gets one. We need no less than 6 goals in this match. No less than 6 goals in this match if we truly want to absolutely and try our darndest and hardest to get there. So we've scored 5 before. So I could see us getting there. And again, if we're going to get a bunch of teenagers and we're going to get a secondary and a rotationary squad, why not go for the jugular? And I know we can get it going. So again, massive thing. Let's also talk about all the teams that need to lose in order for San Diego FC to maintain. Again, the idea here is if we can keep all of these teams on an even plane at 6 points, San Diego FC has a bigger opportunity of advancing to the quarterfinals than others do. Again, goal difference would be massive, especially if it ends up in a 12-way tie of 6 points. Yeah. If you heard that correctly and you've already done the math in your head, first off, great job because that's really quick. But it's true. There are 11 teams that need to lose and San Diego win, massively, by the way, in order for us to even think about getting into the League's Cup quarterfinal. So let's talk about that. It's over the next 2 days. So it's tonight's games, and there's 6 of them that doesn't include ours, and another 5 tomorrow on Thursday that all matter. So let's talk about them. FC Dallas needs to lose to Toluca. LAFC needs to lose. The Seattle Sounders need to lose to Guadalajara. Inter Miami needs to lose to Leon. Orlando City needs to lose to Atlético San Luis. Nashville needs to lose to Monterrey. Club America needs to get another dominant win. Cruz Azul needs to beat the Chicago Fire. By the way, Club America is playing Austin FC. I know that that's like not our issue right now, but I bet you that's going to be an awesome match. So just give that one a shout if you can. Portland Timbers, who've been looking really, really, really good in this tournament, take on Club Tijuana, who may or may not already be checked out. So that's going to be one that's going to be a little iffy for us. So we don't know. Santos Laguna. They're a bottom table team, but I really, 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 really need them to beat the Philadelphia Union. If they can somehow do that, that'll be massive for us. And then if New York City wins, New York City wins. It doesn't really matter, but we need them to lose. All 11 of these teams need to lose. Again, that's FC Dallas, LAFC, Seattle, Inter Miami, Orlando City, Nashville SC, Austin FC, Chicago Fire, Portland Timbers, Philadelphia Union, and the New York City Football Club. Whew. That was a whole lot. Yeah, that's how many teams need to lose. Because, again, it will cause like a 12-way tie. And the top 4 teams with the most goal difference or the biggest goal difference will advance. So if we've scored 5 and that puts us at 4 in a goal difference, and maybe Austin FC loses by 3, or it's a big mathematical, statistical, crazy jumble, mumble, flumble, bumble. If any of you footy fans, soccer fans, used to be NFL fans or are still NFL fans, you would know all this stuff from like when they talk about NFL projections and guys who may or may not, or teams that may or may not make it to the postseason and what all they need to win and who needs to lose and this and that. Because that's exactly the situation that San Diego FC is in right now. Not only do they need to dominate, they need a lot of people to lose. Is it over? Does the coach and team see it that way? I'm going to say no, because Mikey's been pretty adamant about saying we're here to win this. We're here to win this. Again, it's going to take a lot for them to win it. But if you're going to go for the jugular, I don't think you're going to take your foot off the gas. I think you're going to maintain your starters. I think you're going to go with your heavy hitters, and you're going to just go for the jugular. Speaking of it, let's get to the keys to victory. First key to victory, attack Puebla's back line early and often. Over 2 matches of this League's Cup, they've given up 8 goals. It's not a fluke. It's a pattern. It's all about getting numbers forward. Their fullbacks and center backs can be beat with speed very easily. A lot of how we kind of dominated Tijuana for the first 60 minutes on Sunday is very much what we need to do here. Get those crosses in early, attack open space, good quality fluid passing, not jumble it around and make it look tiki-taka to kind of confuse the opponent and maybe make it up. No. Good passes, work in open space. Anibal Godoy probably going to be a big, massive thing in there because he's a great midfielder, good ball-winning midfielder. San Diego FC is going to need that in order to maintain possession and attack that back line early and often. Number 2, feed that front line. Feed them. Smorgasbord, buffet, carne asada, whatever you want to call it. Eat till it's gone, baby. Eat till it's gone. If that means we're crossing, then we're crossing. If they're winning duels one-on-one with their dribbling ability, it's fantastic. If we get a Marcus and Varkston hat trick, outstanding. If Anders Dreyer comes to town and really shows why El Pelotero sells the cheapest ice cream because he scores more goals than everybody else who can afford the cheap ice cream, I love that joke, then that's what we get. But we're going to need an abundance. I love to bring out the big words. We're going to need an abundance of goals. And it's going to have to start with those 2 dudes. And then maybe bring in a Zamble and an Alvarado. A Valakari who's been looking threatening, just can't connect. Maybe his opportunity to connect. Don't expect to see Elisha Achuri. He's not clear. As far as I've read, his visa is still not cleared. He has not practiced with the team. If we're lucky, maybe we get him against LAFC next weekend. Or maybe the return game when we get home and Colorado comes to town. But that's for then. Let's continue onward. Number 3, I talked about it in the other one, and it was my number one for the game against Tijuana, but it goes back to how it was on Sunday. Control possession, control the tempo, control the game. Control it, control it, control it. San Diego FC's midfield has looked absolutely stout. Looked absolutely stout against Tijuana, and I love that, and I want more of it. I feel like Alejandro Alvarado is destined to get another start, as he should, because he looked so good. It's who's going to be his attacking counterpart. That's going to be my question. We're going to see a Gabriel Pirani in a tag team in that, because that could look really good, because he looked really attacking. I don't want to see him on the left wing. I think he's way, 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 way better in the middle. Again, or maybe it's Valakari, who, again, looks like he's due. The guy had, I want to say, 4 shots on goal, and they've all been pretty good. A couple of deflections and a couple stoppages by the keepers. So he's looked like he wants it. We know how much Vargston wants, to score. How many times he's dinged the post in the last couple weeks. This team looks hungry. And the way that they can do that and control the game is by controlling possession and allowing for their runs to happen when they want it. Because as we've known in the past, when San Diego FC does what San Diego FC wants to do, they can and will dog walk anybody. And I know that last year was different from this year, but it's the truth. If we can play our game and maintain our standards without giving up, without being costly, without being undisciplined self, where we're getting red cards and yellow cards and bad fouls and bad situations and bad scenarios and all that, I don't think that that's going to happen. I think we're too inclined, too ready, too willing to move forward in this, that maybe this is the time we don't all of a sudden want to give stuff up, even though we almost did on Sunday. But that's neither here nor there. Again, 60 minutes look good, but it looks better if it's 90. Number 4, do not let a depleted squad from Puebla don't take them for granted. Don't do it. Don't take it for granted. I'm already not taking them so for granted I couldn't even get my sentence out properly, because that's the facts. Now you're going to have hungry kids. You're going to have teenagers that are going to want to make an impact. In San Diego, at a stadium that isn't theirs. They're going to want to make such an impact that they get to now go home and tell coach, I made a big impact in San Diego. I need more minutes. So don't take these cats for granted. Do not think that they're going to just let us walk all over them, because if there's anybody who's hungry out there, it's going to be the youth. Okay, it's going to be the younger kids. It's going to be the ones out there trying to make their name. They want to be the Gilberto Mora, okay? They want to be the one getting the positive minutes, getting called from the national team. Don't take these guys for granted, but also do not take your foot off the gas and play the way you know how to play. Lastly, look for some new pieces to add to this mix. The fringe pieces, the guys in which Puebla's not going to know, what are you doing out here, bud? What are you doing out here? What is your role out here, my guy? And guys like that we haven't seen, and the 2 names that I'm going to say out loud are names that I really think should get some minutes in this game, whether one of them's as a winger spot, which I really don't like him as a winger spot, up in the winger spot, or it's just midfield changes, but it's David Vasquez and Pedro Soma. I think both of those dudes deserve some minutes for this match, and maybe some extended minutes. Maybe we get a Pedro Soma start over Ananabel Godoy and a Yepe Tverskov, or maybe he starts alongside Ananabel Godoy or Yepe Tverskov. I like that. And like I said, I maybe a little Alex Mighton. Maybe a little Alex. We saw how well Zamble did. Maybe the a little bit older, a little less crafty, but just as good a dribbler can have an impact as well. Maybe. Just maybe. Those are my 5 keys to victory. Like I said, it is a massive uphill battle for San Diego FC to make it to the quarterfinal. But I think even if they don't advance to the quarterfinal, getting a big win here against Puebla is going to be a massive confidence booster, because this coming Saturday, we're going to LA. We're going to the BMO Stadium. We're going to take on LAFC, Sung Hyung Min, Buaga. You can list them down the gimmick, okay? We're having to go where the black and gold are, and it's going to be a tough one. Now, maybe we get a little backup in Elisha Alchuri. Maybe that's what actually happens. We finally get the guy that we think is going to be a dynamic success for us, and I hope will be a dynamic success for us. But in the time being, Brian Zamble seems to be perfect for that left wing spot for the time being, if you catch my drift. So we need a massive win tonight. And even if just all we get is a massive win and the Leagues Cup is done, I will take that. I want confidence for these boys, because for us, I didn't think we were going to get Leagues Cup. Once we lost to Club America, I kind of was just like, Leagues Cup is out of the way, but I want better form. I want us to make a true playoff run. Not only get into the playoffs, maybe get us back to the quarterfinal. Maybe we don't win the West, but maybe we're hungry enough to prove to everybody that we were just down at the moment, but we ain't down for good. So I'm going to leave y'all with this one. Hopefully you listen to it as you're walking into the stadium. I know it's quick, fast, in a hurry, and I know it's last minute, but I appreciate y'all for joining me. If you like this content, make sure you like and subscribe right here, the Max Football Podcast. Share it with your friends. Max Football Podcast on Instagram, hostmo_MFP on TikTok. I will catch y'all later. Unfortunately, not making it to Snapdragon for this one. I've got my own soccer journey to deal with. It starts with the 9-year-olds, if you catch my drift. So I will see y'all after the match. Hopefully it's going to be a big one, and maybe, just maybe, we'll have some good news to talk about it. So until then, vamos, San Diego.
Host mode when you drew from both sides. San Diego, New York, London. Let's ride. It's Max Football. Yeah. Host mode.